Hello, beloved. I thank you so much for your time and I thank you for joining me on the Prophetic Vessel Show. This will be your message from God, Ra, Allah, Source, the Divine. I'm grateful for your time. To those whom are keen or interested in becoming members of my Patreon, pardon me, on my Patreon, I do offer weekly sign readings for $10 per month based on love, as well as ancestral lineage readings. I also offer on my Patreon personal readings. For $50 per month, you get a personal reading from me every month based on love, spiritual path, career, and finances, as well as ancestral messages. I also now offer one-on-one sessions / life coach sessions. Those will be once off and not monthly, and you can only book me for those directly via my email, which will be listed in my description box below, as well as the link to my Patreon if you'd rather join my Patreon instead. You can also join my Patreon by typing what is on the screen via Google, search it, and it'll lead you to my Patreon website. Let us tap in and find out, why were you spiritually led here? What is here for you, beloved? Why did you resonate with the title? And why did your own YouTube algorithm present you with this message? Let us tap in and talk to God, okay? I'm channeling fear, okay? Someone is truly afraid of you. They're truly afraid of you, okay? This is someone that's afraid of your voice. They're afraid of your eyes, okay? They're afraid of your body. They're afraid of your spirit. They're afraid of your heart. They're afraid of your mind, okay? Someone's afraid of you. And that is you, right? All those components of yourself. Like, someone's individually afraid of you. It's not afraid for one specific thing or about one specific thing. Someone's afraid of all of you, genetically, even in DNA, bloodline, ancestry, lineage. Someone's afraid, of your ancestors as well. We have the wheel of fortune reversed. The wheel of fortune reversed. So with the wheel of fortune reversed, that I'm seeing here that there's someone this is someone that can't believe what has happened to them. Like, this is someone that can't process what has happened. It's like, this is someone whose life is what they can't believe to be real. So therefore they're in psychosis, meaning they're completely out of reality. So this is someone who definitely, something happened to them. Like, something happened to this person here. This is someone who definitely, because of what happened, they had to live with it. It's not something they could let go of or change or heal or fix or address, reflect, look at. Like, something happened to this person, and ever since what happened to them, they just became this really bad person. It's like they suffered a certain trauma, and that trauma completely snatched them of reality, and they completely tapped into psychosis. They're not conscious. Someone lives in an unconscious presence. Them on earth as who they are. They're not present or conscious at all. Someone's very out of reality. They're in psychosis. So what happened to them changed them and turned them into a specific person, and who they became was their responsibility. Because in that moment, even with the trauma, we all have a choice to allow it to change us for the better or worse. And this person chose their trauma to change them for the worst. They never took the time to actually transmute the trauma and heal it. They never took the time to transmute the energy. They just allowed themselves to fall into that. And it continued and growed within them, this trauma, because it lived on inside, even though it happened and it had passed in reality, but inside it lived on. And not because they were actively trying to heal it and let it go. It was because they kept choosing the trauma, glorifying it, giving it power, giving it authority, control over them and their life. Until who they became was nothing but darkness, because we have the devil here. This is someone who allowed their trauma to turn them into a monster or just a dark person. Unable to tap out of the darkness, this person still remains in it, truly stuck and truly afraid of you. Because this trauma that they allowed to have that much control, power, and authority over them, it turned them into a monster and a dark person. And as it did that, this person formed a weapon against you. However way they cross paths with you, whether you directly know them or not, we're directly connected to them or not, you need to understand that this person here has always been afraid of you. They always saw you in this energy of having it all, being one of those people in life that, man, you just have it all, even if things are not perfect in your reality or you are not perfect, but you are it. Like, it's more like flawless. This person always saw you as being flawless. You could never do no wrong or be wrong. Like, you just flawless in your presence and identity. And they process that with extreme hatred because of the work they never put in within themselves. Don't forget, they're acting based on trauma. And the thing about this person is, they use the trauma to be their compass, and it directed them to a darkness that they now can't get out of. Because at some point in our lives, we all need to take accountability of our actions, and consequences will arise when we need to take responsibility. Because we can say, oh my God, I'm traumatized, someone did this and this to me. But then you need to understand that someone doesn't have to have that much power, authority, and control over your life. Why should their words affect you? Their actions affect you, their behavior. Why should they have that over you? Especially because they're not even in the position to do what they want to do. Like, they don't have the power to control you and be of authority and power. But the role you allowed them to play in your life gives them that, or the role they were playing in your life, it gave them that authority, that power and control. But it was never of truth. It's like, this is definitely someone who even in that position they were in, over your life, they were still afraid of you. They just never admitted it out loud, but they lived with it within themselves. And as they lived with it within themselves, they had to mask it. So to you, they might have came off like, you might have even had a fear of them. Or with the Hermit reverse, it's like you didn't know that this person feared you the way they did. You didn't know that, your presence affected them the way it did. Your unawareness of the truth, it covered you for a long time, because you were not supposed to know until you were supposed to know. You were not supposed to know until you were supposed to know. So the illusion was lifted right at the perfect moment with the Hangman reversed. You saw the truth of everything at the perfect time. You were illuminated and enlightened to the truth right when you should have experienced that illumination and awakening. It hit you right when it was supposed to. And it hit you directly where it was supposed to. So the fear grew within this person now that you see them for who they are, their true colors. Now that you're not blind to anything that has to do with them. Now that the truth is something you already have awakened to. It puts this person, look at that, awakening reversed. I didn't even see it. Back to that, awakening reversed. You didn't see in the beginning. But even when you didn't see, it was true that they feared you. Just because now you know, it doesn't make a difference. It's just the difference is now you know. But the fear has always existed within this person. Every day they just learned to hide it. And whether they had to disrespect you, hurt you, abuse you, act in certain ways, say something, bully you, harm you, they had to do all those things to hide the fear. They would have rather have you fear them than them fear you. So they chose to constantly be who they were towards you and play the role they were playing. But I see that, now you see. You've seen this person now. You know exactly who they are. You know their true colors. You're aware. And this fear that has been within them, it grew in its might. It grew in its might. Now it has more strength and power over this person, this fear. Your words trigger this fear. Your body triggers this fear. Your eyes trigger this fear. It's like this person is in a yarn ball of their own fear. There's so much of the fear, and it exists in different forms of it, but it's one thing. It's fear, but it's based on different things. So it exists in different forms, but it's one thing. Like the yarn ball, it's like wrapped all together. It's one thing, even though it's everywhere in different ways. And this is vengeance is mine, God says. This is that moment in your life where God is vindicating you. This is your justice for this person to go through this. It's their karma for what they put you through, because you've suffered so much. You've suffered. God saw the suffering and returned it to sender. So now this person will suffer every day. Back to vengeance is mine, the Lord says. And it is indeed, because he's stepping into your life, and this is the justice energy. There's nothing this person can do about who you are. They should have left you alone or let you be. Now they have to learn the hard way. Because what's happening to them here is like something that they can't believe. The way their life is, they just can't believe it. The way things have turned out, they can't believe it. They can't believe what they're living, what they're seeing, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. They can't believe what things are. Everything around them just seems like a complete unbelievable reality. But it's their truth. It's their new reality. It's their new reality. And they're suffering every day in it. Every day they're like stuck in the suffering, double-hanged man. No matter where they go, what they do, who they're around, no matter what, who, what, where, who, what, where, why, no matter all the contributing factors of their existence, nothing takes away this deep fear. Nothing takes away this karma. Because this person knows what they've done. And they can't take it to the grave because hell is here. Their pain actively every day. This is definitely somebody who, they do black magic, they do witchcraft, they do voodoo, either of the three. They are tapped into dark spirituality and have been for a very long time. Whether you've been aware or asleep to that truth, but it's been an active energy where this person has been doing what they were doing, dibbling and dabbling, participating, the rituals, the sacrifices, the energy. They've always been doing what they've been doing. They were using this position they had over your life, this authority, control, and power that they had over your life. They were using all this witchcraft and voodoo and black magic to maintain all of that. They wanted to keep themselves of power, control, and authority over your life, over you. And they relied on the witchcraft, they relied on the voodoo, they relied on the black magic to give them that power. It was meant to be the other way around. Their voice was meant to trigger you, their eyes, their body, their mind, their heart. You were meant to be affected by this person the way they are affected by you, but that's not what's happening. So what's happening is this person is getting the energy they sent out returned to them. They're in their return to sender energy. It's coming back to them. It has come back to them. That's why every day they're struggling. That's why they're suffering. It's the karma, it's justice, it's balance. Things have to return. They must. This person, I'm being led to the energy. They should have left you alone. They should have let you be. We have the 4 Pentacles reversed. They should have never done what they've done. They should have never said what they said, acted how they acted towards you. They should have never formed those weapons. They should have never. And the thing about this person is they're so delusional that they don't want to acknowledge their own things. They don't want to take responsibility and accountability. They're too comfortable in their delusion. And that's what's bringing a tower to this person's life. That's what's bringing the tower. That's what's enabling this person to pay karma, because they always thought they knew and never allowed themselves to be a student of life and respect everyone in their life. All they used to do is what they used to do. And now that they can't do it doesn't mean they don't want to. They don't want to learn. They never will. They will return to ashes with the energy of, I deserve to have control, power, and authority over your life, over you. And they'll die like that, but that's their problem because they held on to that. It's no one's problem but theirs. They can try and make it your problem, but it's not your cross to carry. Those are not your burdens. Those are not your sins. Sis is sick. Sis is desperate. And sis is definitely delusional. And it's sis's problem. Whoever this is to you. So this woman here, they have life twisted. Who do they think they are? You don't owe them anything. You don't owe them anything at all. Instead, they owe you many apologies. And whatever they try and fight against when it comes to you and your life, they'll always be taught a lesson of, man, who do you think that you are? Who do you think you are? And they don't want to accept who you are. But that's their problem. Like, that's the thing with this person. Sis, that's on you. Who cares? Things will always go the way they're supposed to go, no matter how you feel and think about them, sis. And that witchcraft, that voodoo, that black magic they were playing with, they'll take it to their grave. They'll die insane. They'll die unstable. They'll die dark and delusional. They'll die like that because they chose that reality for themselves and constantly kept choosing it, even though they were given a chance, an opportunity, a choice to do different and be different. They never chose to be different and do different. That's going to catch up to them. That already is catching up to them, and it's going to keep catching up to them because they chose it. It's their energy returning and reflecting in their life, and it's coming in heavy and fast. This is an energy that is just here to do what it's here to do. They sent it out, so it's returning to them, and it's not going to request to hit them. It's going to just hit them. They should have never been doing what they were doing, trying to stand in another person's life because of whatever your evil and wicked ass wants. It's weird. You're not God. They should have learned that. But you are going to teach them that. And every day when they see you rise in the morning healthy and still kicking, they'll fall into their demise and live to suffer every day with the same energy they wanted for another. They will live with it. It belongs to them. It's no one else's. And sis can be delusional or whatever. But sis, that's your waste of life. That's your waste of breath. You're doing it to you. And when you choose yourself every day, beloved, it's either they'll one day awaken to the fact that, man, I must take accountability and responsibility, but it's not on you anyway to trigger and awaken that in them. They should just be learning from this instead of continuing forward with their evil and wicked. But hey, to each his own. It'll take them to the grave. It'll lead them to the grave, and it'll be with them in the grave because that is their energy until they choose to cleanse. But when it's ashes that they go, when now they're no longer here, they'll regret it because when they're somewhere else with that same energy, they'll wish they would have chosen to leave it behind. When now cleansing is no longer an option and a choice. Now it's no longer a decision to be made. It's not even an option and a choice and a decision to be made at all. It doesn't exist. Now it's just you and your sin. That's why repenting is necessary. You don't know what you're taking with you with all that energy. Leave it behind. Leave it behind. So this person didn't choose that. And because they didn't choose that, It won't come. And they can blame everyone else but themselves, but they'll only have themselves in the coffin. And that's the truth we all have to live with. Hence, we always have to choose ourselves. Stay in your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit. Thank you so much for joining me on the Prophetic Vessel Show. This was your message from God, Ra, Allah, Source, the Divine. I'm grateful for your time. To those whom are keen or interested in becoming members of my Patreon, on my Patreon, I do offer weekly sign readings for $10 per month based on love as well as spiritual path. I also offer, not spiritual path, ancestral lineage readings, not spiritual path. I also offer on my Patreon personal readings for $50 per month. You get a personal reading from me every month based on love, spiritual path, career, and finances, as well as ancestral messages. I also now offer one-on-one sessions / life coach sessions. Um, those will be once off and not monthly. You can find my email down below if you want to book me for that. As well as the link to my Patreon. If you'd rather join my Patreon instead, you can also join my Patreon by typing what is on the screen via Google. Search it and it'll lead you to my Patreon website. I thank you all for everything and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.